In this video, I just want to talk about how to navigate the LaLima site and the Google Classroom site, how to sign up for it. It's all actually pretty straightforward, but it's a little bit easier when someone's talking about it. So, since many of you are actually UH students, you're pretty familiar with LaLima. Even if you're not a UH student, it's relatively simple. The website you would always start off with is lalima.hawaii.edu. And you would use this site to get into the main course materials. And you'll see in your LaLima site, you'll see a class that says Economic History. And really from there, once you click on that, it looks pretty bare bones. And it looks bare bones because for our class, since we are doing a fair amount of writing, I'm using Google Classroom, which I think manages the writing a little bit easier, since many of you use Google Docs. And even if you don't, it's pretty simple to both post things as well as read my comments. So here's what the LaLima site is doing for us. The first thing you would do is you would go to Start Here. Makes sense, right? You'd go to Start Here, and then Start Here, you'll see this video. Not only that, but you'll also see the syllabus, and you're going to see another video here, which I'm going to post shortly, where I talk about the syllabus. I've got the reflection papers there, the instructions, and then I also have a discussion of the reflection papers here. And then as well, I have an introduction myself. Okay, so basically, once you go to Start Here, as the term implies, that would be basically your start to the course, figuring out how to do everything. As you look through the syllabus, and again, there'll be a separate video just talking about the syllabus, you'll see that I break the course up into 3 parts. And in each of these 3 parts, we're dealing with about 5 to 6 chapters. If you pace yourself, as is really the biggest difficulty here. As you're reading these chapters and writing the reflection papers and then doing the exam, which is a open notes exam, you really shouldn't have any problems as long as you remain diligent. I don't think you could accomplish it all in a day, so you have to pace yourself on time. But what you'd be doing is that for each chapter, let's just start with chapter 2 here. I start off the chapter by giving you a list of what needs to be done. And then you've got, I'll say I'm being kind, although I don't know if someone should ever refer to themselves as being kind, but essentially I got a free copy of the book and I snagged all the chapters for everyone. And you know what? You can either print it, so you could download it to your computer by going to that button right there and downloading it to your computer, or you can even read it on the screen. But you should have nothing to buy for this class. You would have all the readings here. Then, if you scroll down further, you'll see I made a kind of a a crib notes kind of thing about what's going on in the chapter. And in the very beginning, in the first few chapters, it made a lot more sense to make kind of like an audio lecture, which you could just listen to here by hitting play. In later chapters, it changes a bit. It gets a little bit more, I don't want to say complicated, but a little bit more necessary for me to have visuals. So then what I did is I made a PowerPoint, which is kind of like right here, kind of like if we were having a lecture in class. And then I talk about it over here. I made a YouTube video which has the lecture. Okay, so that gets you through kind of like where do you actually get the materials that you're going to learn from. They would all be here again in LaLima. Now, the other thing that's required in this class is Google Classroom, which I'll make another video about that. In Google Classroom, what you're going to do, well, I'll make a separate video that'll talk about like how to sign up. Actually, I don't. Let's just do it here. What you would do is once you're in your browser, you would just type in classroom.google.com. And what you'd want to do is make sure in the right-hand corner, right when you show up here, this class won't be there, okay? So unless you've had some other Google Classroom class. So this will be blank, and you'll just see Google Classroom and then your name symbol up here in the upper right corner. Make sure it's on your hawaii.edu account. So you'd click there, make sure it's in your hawaii.edu thing. Then what you do is you'd hit this little plus sign right here, create or join a class, and you'd say you're going to join a class. It would remind you who you're signed in as, and it's going to ask you for your class code. That class code for us, for our class, is this, ZUMM4ZZ. Okay, so you would type that in. And once you do, it'll show up like this. Click on it. And then here is where your reflection papers are and where your exams will be. So you'll see here that for a reflection paper, you'll see that I basically give you a rubric of how I'm going to grade you, but you'll click on this, and this is essentially your assignment that you'll then be writing about right here. Okay, when to write about it. Let's see here. Unfortunately, I can't see it as you will see it, but you'll have an ability not to write it in class comments, your paper, but you'll have an ability then to upload your work. Okay. If you're having any technical problems about how to get into Google Classroom or even about Laulima, especially if you're not a UH student, I really am like an email away. I will talk to you on the phone. I'll walk you through it. It's really not an issue at all. You just have to reach out to me. I'm not the kind of, just in full disclosure, and I'll say this again in the syllabus video, I am not, for all my great points, I've also got bad points. And my bad point as an instructor is that I'm not very good at, I don't know what you would say, I don't know, in my case as a male professor, maybe I could say I'm not paternal enough, right? I don't treat you like my child. I don't nag you. I don't tell you, hey, buddy, what's going on? I see you haven't emailed your assignments in a few weeks. I'm just not that kind of person. I don't think that that's my role in the classroom. I know other faculty members are very different than me. I'm well aware of that. It's just not the way that I am. I'm built differently, and while that's good because it means you're not going to have someone, on you, like telling you what you need to do, for some of you that could be quite bad. If you need me to fill that different role for you, you need me to be that person that, is on you about things, I can be, and I'll do it just for your own sake. It's just not one that I'll take on normally. Okay. I hope that helps you kind of see how to navigate where everything is and how to learn in this class.